In this video, we're going to go through the process of ordering a track system. Please note that track systems should never be used on standard windows. They are designed to be used in front of floor-to-ceiling windows, doors, or utilised as room dividers. First, we select New Order on the left-hand side of the screen. We now get a pop-up which asks us to enter a reference name for the order. This is what the order will be referred to, and therefore we suggest using either the customer's name or their address as the reference. In front of us now we can see several options available to us. In most cases you will select Add Shutter. If however you are only looking to order battens, posts or trims, then you can select them here. If you will be adding these to the order alongside shutters, you will have the opportunity to do so before we complete the order. When we have selected Add Shutter, we are taken to this page. The first thing to do is to specify a location. We would recommend that you are detailed in this, as the location you input here will be on the packaging of the shutter when it is delivered. Under the Specify a Location section is Mount Position. You will notice that this is not a selectable option at this point. When it comes to track systems, we can now choose between Nevada or Madison. In this example, we will choose Madison. Having chosen the range, we now have the choice between a bifold or a bypass track system. An explanation of the difference between them can be found in the help desk, which can be found by clicking the question mark icon. Having chosen the type of track system we'll be using, we will then need to select whether we are going to have standard hinged or free-flowing panels. Again, an explanation on the differences between them can be found in the help desk. Please note that this option is only available on Madison. We can now, if we need to, move back to the mount position option and change it from the inside mount to the outside mount. Please refer to the help desk to identify whether this is needed. Now that we've selected the range and which style of shutter we want, we can see the fields that need entering for the sizing of the shutter. Please remember, when inputting sizes, to ensure that you've accounted for deductions you will need. We will build the shutters to the sizes you input, and therefore you must submit the sizes with deductions already accounted for. Selecting the louver size drop-down, we are shown what size louvers are available in this range. When we input a louver size, we can see that the louver type drop-down menu becomes available. We now select whether we'll be ordering an elliptical or an urban style louver. The next option available to us is extra louvers. This allows us to add additional louvers to the order as spares should we wish to. If you do not want any spare louvers, leave this section blank. If you are adding a mid-rail to the shutter, then you will need to fill in the last two fields in the shutter dimension section. The first is mid-rail criticality. An explanation of this is provided in the help desk. To access the help desk, please click on the question mark icon. Next, we input the height of the mid-rail. When we start to input the measurements of the mid-rail, you will see that another field appears to the right of it. This is where you input the measurement of the second mid-rail if you are using a second mid-rail within the shutter. If only one mid-rail is required, do not input anything into the second mid-rail field. We now move to the shutter control section. Here, in tilt option, we can select which tilt control we want to have on the shutter. Depending on which range and which type of louver we've selected, will determine which tilt options are available for the shutter. The next option we have is Tilt Split Location. If the shutter is to have split tilt, put in the measurement required. If no split tilt is required, leave it blank. Finally, on this page, we have Shutter Layout. In this space, you input what configuration you want to have the panels in. With a bifold track system, you must have an even number of panels. If you've chosen a standard hinged configuration, you can have the choice of having all of the panels moving back to either the left or right. You can also split them. For example, if you have 6 panels across the track system, you could choose to have it configured as an LL, RR, RR layout. This would mean 2 panels moving back to the left and 4 to the right. Again, this split must be made up of an even number of panels moving back to either side. If you've chosen free flow, then the pairs of panels can be moved freely from one side of the track to the other. If you've chosen a bypass track system, you will input Fs and Bs to denote how many panels will be on the front track and how many will be on the back track. When all details are correct, we select Save and Continue and progress to the next page. If any information has been missed, you will not be able to proceed until this has been corrected. When we come to the next page, the first option viewable is Frame Type. As we've already determined on the previous page whether we want an inside or outside mount, there will only be one option available. After confirming the frame type, you are automatically then given the choice of which style type we are using on the shutter. You are now given the options of either a butt, ribette or astragal style. Now select Save and Continue. On the next page we have the colour options. Dependent on which shutter range you select will determine which colours you will have available to you. Having decided on which paint to use on the shutter, we now choose what finish to have on the hinge. Finally, we are given the choice of what colour track is desired. Having selected the colour, hinge colour and track colour, we can now scroll down to view the shutter. On the left hand side of the screen there are 4 buttons. The first opens the louvers, the second opens the panels, the third gives us a top view, and the fourth reverts us to a front view. In the bottom right of the screen we have a zoom tool. We can also left click on the shutter and drag the shutter around to view it from whichever angle you wish. Moving down the screen there is a section for special instructions. This section will be reviewed and actioned before being sent to production. You also have a section to the right which allows you to upload any images which can be of use to the description of special instructions. When this has been completed, select Save and Continue. At this stage we've completed the design of the shutter. We now have the opportunity to either progress with the order or to add another shutter. You may also want to add additional items such as battens. To do this, move up to the top right hand side and select Add to your order. You will then be presented with the option of adding another shutter, batten, post or trims. If you've completed all of the shutters you intend for this order, you can now review what it is you've created. In the centre of the screen you can see some key info on the shutter you've designed. If you want to see more detail, select the Show Extra Information tab. When you are happy with the shutter you've designed, you can then progress the order. On the left hand side you'll see the drop down menu for the delivery option. If you are using Madison, you will see the options of standard and express delivery. If using another range, there will only be the option of standard delivery. Once you've selected your delivery type, you will select the delivery address. This will be your business address. With track systems you must have technical drawings, and therefore you need to select yes to the technical drawings question. Please note, you will need to wait to receive those drawings, confirm that you're happy with the shutters, and action this before the order is sent to production. Underneath the technical drawings section, you will need to select that you have read and accepted the terms and conditions before you can progress the order.